Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2020 debut of the Midway Coaches Corner. I'm Joe Krupinski, head men's basketball coach at Midway, joined as always by Alan Foster, our head women's coach. Coach, I think that's your name. It's been so long we've done one of these shows.
It's been a long time.
I can't remember exactly who's here, but it looks like we're back in business here in 2020.
And we're finally back on the air. We're like a lot of those shows on television. They take a break, and I'm sure people have seen our commercials that Dylan's been promoting for the new upcoming season coming soon. Today's the day.
Here it is.
We're here.
So you've been waiting for it. You've been asking. We've heard a lot of you on Twitter text in with your questions and just hell-bent on seeing another coach's show, and here we are. Here we are. So we're heading into the, obviously we're almost a month now into the second semester, and heading into the spring sports. We're going to visit today with Luther Bramblett, our baseball coach, because they kick off their season this weekend. So that's exciting. We've had some of the volleyball and some other sports start up recently, but just as always here in the first segment, we do a kind of a recap. We don't have the hour-long show to do the recap from the last 5 weeks, but just in general, we usually start with our teams. And Coach, since the break, how have you guys have done pretty well?
We've done pretty well. We've had a couple of losses. Last week was a little tough, but we traveled to West Virginia and Rio, the two best teams record-wise on the other side, and played well, but came out with a couple losses. But overall, since we've been back, we've been playing pretty well and had a good win last night at home. And so things are on track. We're happy. We're in first place right now on the west side of the River States Conference, and hope we can continue the way it's been going. But so far a good start to January.
Yeah.
Coach, you have probably had one of the best months you've had since I've been here.
We've done pretty well. We had a really good first couple weeks there. We had 6 games in those first 2 weeks when we got back. That's always you're always a little concerned when you get back after such a long break.
Right.
Our guys, we had some personnel changes, but our guys really stepped up and reacted to it well, and has taken on the challenge. Now we won 5 of our first 6 out of the gate. Now they were all at home. We still haven't proven that we can go on the road and be consistent. We went kind of like you last week and didn't play so well at Tech and Rio, and we did bounce back and win last night against Ohio Christian, a good win for our team. In the middle of that run against Oakland City at home, we had Quan Evans, our junior, become the first Midway men's player ever to reach 1,000 points.
Right. Congratulations, Quan.
Which was exciting. So the team's been doing pretty well. We've had a renewed focus in practice the last week or so, which I think helped last night. And but we're in the middle of the toughest stretch of the year for us. We'll talk about this later, but we go up to the two of the IU schools here the next 2 games, and finish up with some tough home. We only have 2 more games at home, and we're in the middle of the playoff chase here. We're 5-5 in the league, and we'd like to try to get over the hump and make the tournament for the first time and show some progress that way. But we're going to have to play pretty well down the stretch.
Exactly.
So we'll see.
The team's going in the right direction. I've really been impressed with the way y'all played this semester.
Yeah, we've played hard. Some other teams have done well. Speaking of impressive, men's volleyball had a really good start to their season. They started this past weekend and they had 2 wins over Milligan and Milliken.
2 different universities.
Great scheduling by Coach Ryma, because we weren't quite. We were trying to hope that one team would show up one day and the other. We weren't quite sure who was supposed to show up when. But the team showed up on the right days. And, we won 3-1 over Milligan on Friday, and then swept Milliken 3-0 on Saturday. So 2 home matches to start the year. Great for them. Adrian Constant was the Mid-South Attacker of the Week, and Gavin Andaya was the Mid-South Setter of the Week. So some individual accolades to go with the team success. Track and field had a pretty good showing this past weekend. The men were 4th of 15 teams, which I thought was probably one of our better showings so far. Women were 10th. Also did well. Montez Moore was the River States Conference Field Athlete of the Week. He set a school record in the triple jump.
Oh, good.
And he's a freshman out of Louisville. Goes to the same high school as one of our guys went. So that's exciting whenever you're freshmen are competing at that level.
Exactly. That's something to be proud of, and they're only going to get better as it goes.
That's right.
So that's something to look forward to.
No, for sure. Bowling took Van 4 up I-75 to the Cincinnati Collegiate Classic, and fared pretty well. We'll talk more about that with the trailer, with the bowling trailer. The bowling trailer is something else. Let me tell you, it's pretty impressive. For all you bowlers out there, that would seal the deal for me. If I was thinking about Midway.
It's very impressive.
And then finally, a great weekend for our Hunt Seat and Western teams. The equestrian teams went over to UK. Always tough to compete at Division I level.
I know.
With those Division I horses, but we, the Huntsy and Western team both swept first place on Saturday.
Okay.
And then the Western team came back and finished second on Sunday. And Nathan Sparron was the high point rider, which they tell me means first place, on Saturday for the weekend, or for Western. So really, great showings out of the gate here in the semester for our teams.
Apparently, for our equine teams, the horses are much more comparable than perhaps you and I. Compared to you.
I would say so. I would say Coach Gunnison and Coach Calipari are probably a little further apart than maybe myself and Coach Calipari.
I got you.
And they actually, we'll talk more about them next week. We have a big Huntsy home show coming up, so that's exciting.
Hopefully we'll get Coach on here.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. So, so I think that's kind of a quick recap. I know we didn't have a lot of time to go into all the specifics of what happened, but a general idea of what's been happening within the Eagle Empire here in the first 3 weeks.
It sounds like, in summary, all the teams off to a good start.
Yeah.
Whether they're teams like ours that are carried over from fall to spring, or some of the sports like men's volleyball that have just started up this semester. January 2020 is off to a great start in the Eagle Empire. The athletic programs are out performing at a very high level, and congratulations to all our student athletes and coaches who are making that happen.
And we'll be right back with in our next segment to talk about some future success, we think, with the baseball program and Coach Bramblett. So stick around, we'll be back right after this.
Wheel dunk is good for Evans and Watt.
Get recruited at GoMidwayEagles.com.
All right, welcome back to the first edition of the Coach's Corner here in the for the spring sports in the second semester. And with spring comes baseball, and with us is on Coach's Corner this week is Coach Luther Bramblett, head coach of the Midway Eagle baseball program. Coach, welcome into the corner.
Well, guys, I appreciate you having me, man. I've been really earning to be on this show for quite some time.
As have most people.
I'm an avid follower, listener, tweeter, so I'm excited to be here.
We're glad to have you.
Yeah.
Glad to have you.
Yeah, and Coach, we're on the cusp of the season here. It's still a little cool outside, but you guys are heading south this weekend to open up down in Mobile. How's the preseason been in the fall season and into the first part of your preparation for this spring so far?
The fall was rough. We had no facility to practice on, so we had to cut the fall short. The spring has been the opposite. It's been awesome so far here in January. We've been on the field more than we ever have been this time of year. We've inter-squatted 6 times, which is the most we've ever inter-squatted in January, maybe since I've been coaching here at Kentucky. So having the facility on campus has definitely given us a little boost and some energy, and so I think we're a little farther along as far as stuff we need to be working on than in years past. So we'll see.
Well, you bring up that for our viewers out there who may not know, we will be opening up a brand new on-campus baseball facility that the coaches referenced to. Being able to practice on campus and not travel has been a huge addition to the athletic program here, and will only bring good things for the baseball program. Which, ironically, I was looking at the questions that have been texted in, and one of the questions that we had texted to us from Anonymous was...
Anonymous, still anonymous?
Anonymous
They
is
still won't
texting.
say who they are?
But they did want to know what you thought the impact of the new field would have on the season and those type of things. So
First home game in 4 years.
Right.
Yeah, technically. Yeah, I guess you're right. Overall, I think it's just brought a little more excitement to the campus. There's obviously, I've had more buddies of mine and followers from afar asking me about the field project, how that's going, all that good stuff. So it's definitely created a little more of a buzz, and now that we've got something on campus that's ours, that our guys can sink their feet into, sink their rakes into, pick up trash, a little facility investment, as you'd say. I think hopefully that will carry over into a little more prideful competing at home and you know, because I mean we were grateful for what we had at Chandler Field last 3 years, and they were really good to us, and we played well at home overall. But now that we got the field on campus here, I think that's going to, like I talked about with the practice, being able to get outside of class and not have to drive 20 minutes to practice, and guys showing up an hour late because they don't get out of class till 3:15, and so just overall having something on campus, even though we're not there yet as far as everything that we need to eventually get there, but having the facility on campus, I think it's going to really add a lot to us overall.
Yeah, I see your guys out there raking and stuff. I'd like to know how you get that to make that happen, because I know I'm sweeping the floor out there, coaching myself. That's always been a baseball thing I've been kind of envious of. But we're indoors, so you take the good with the bad, I guess. I think now you came in the first year here. The men's program, baseball was one of the inaugural men's sports here at Midway. And you jumped right out of the gate and won the conference tournament, made the national tournament that year.
Yes, sir.
It was a great way to start. You've had a pretty successful program so far. Coming off another tournament appearance last year. How do you see this year's team stack up? What are some of the strengths going to be? That's for NAI Ball on Twitter. It was always I see in my mentions every now and then. A big supporter of NAI athletics. That's one of the questions they want to know is what do you expect to be some of the strengths of our team this year?
We've got 5 senior arms returning that threw quite a bit for us last year. So I think we've got some good leadership there on the pitching side of things, and if you did talk with Alan about his Cardinals in the past, we talked a lot about pitching. So he understands the importance of pitching. Be like having a basketball team and no point guard. So
I can tell you all that.
I bet so. So we've got some pieces to the puzzle there on the mound, but after those 5 seniors, we're pretty young. So that's our overall pitching depth, and what to expect on the mound is a little bit up in the air right now. I couldn't name you who our 3 weekend starters are going to be, who our closers are going to be, who our setup guys, long relief spot starts. We really don't know yet. We're just going to have to figure all that out. But we do have some senior leadership in the outfield. We got 1 senior out there, but then we got 2 sophomores next to them. The biggest part where we have the most experience is going to be on our infield. We've got a couple seniors competing short. We've got a couple seniors at second. We've got a junior at first base, and a senior over there that would probably be DHing. We got a junior and a catcher behind the plate. So we have some upperclassmen in our offensive side, defensive side of things. Some upperclassmen on the mound, but overall, collectively, when we talk about experience and innings returning and wins returning and batting averages and home runs and all that type of stuff, we are young on the experience side. So I like the way we've been practicing. I like the way we've been competing. I think it might just take some time for guys to fill into their roles and get the taste of the college game, because it's a lot faster speed than what they're used to at the high school and even the junior college level. Pitch is totally different at this level. I mean, at junior college, you're used to seeing high velocity guys, but not a lot of control. At the NAI level, you see some high velocity guys, but most of the guys, they've got control. They can spin a breaking ball, throw a change up, and do those type of things. So, but overall, I'm excited to take this team down to Mobile this weekend and see what we got.
Well, that's one of the other questions we had from one of our frequent Twitter questioners, Craig, and I was wondering, how do you feel like Midway's going to stack up in the River States Conference?
You were 5th in the preseason poll, which we all know doesn't mean much of anything, but from past experience, I can tell you that. But how do you see yourselves against some of the better teams in the conference?
That's a great question. Since we've been in here, this will be year 4. I think our baseball league has progressively gotten stronger and stronger and stronger. With the addition of Midway and with the addition of IU Kokomo, those 2 teams right there, I think has helped spur that on. The teams that were usually at the bottom have now found themselves up in, competing for that 6th spot for our tournament. Last year we finished 6th in the regular season and thought we had a pretty good team and finished up third in the conference tournament. The year before that, we finished fifth, I think. And so where they voted us is, roughly where we've been finishing, quote unquote. But I think due to our strength of schedule, our non-conference strength of schedule, I think that prepares us for us wanting to be playing our best baseball at the right time of the year, which is the conference tournament time. So, but overall, who knows? IU Southeast is going to be good again. I think Rio Grande will be good again. I think IU Kokomo returns the bulk of their team. I think they'll be good again. West Virginia Tech, I think is going to be strong. Asbury made the tournament last year for the first time since we've been in the conference, so I think they're excited about continuing to build. So I don't know, it's tough, Craig, to say where we're going to stick.
Sounds like a lot of exciting baseball to be played out on the field.
I think so.
A lot of good competitive games, good competitive games.
And we're not, have the cameras been installed in center field yet?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay.
Not yet.
So for those of you with the sign stealing, get to us early.
But you do have a trash can in the trash.
That trash can.
Okay.
They're not metal ones.
Oh, okay.
That's actually a metal one.
Well, the last question we got here comes from Jan in Pennsylvania, another one of our frequent texters. And for those of you who haven't been here yet to see the facility, we would encourage you to come out to a home game. When is the first home game, by the way?
February 12th.
February 12th. You can brave the elements and come out here for the home game. But the field is currently next to the construction has been next to the field house construction. The Hunter Field House is almost in its ending stages here, and the Tracy Farmer Don Ball Complex, is what we're calling it, correct, is right next to it, which used to be a lot of the horse grazing fields. And Jan in Pennsylvania would like to know, what's the chance we see horses grazing out there in the outfield? Maybe like Field of Dreams out there. Is there any chance of that?
I'm sure
Maybe help some of this mowing?
That would definitely help. I'm sure there is a chance. You never know. But I will say this for our viewers out there. If you haven't been to campus, if you haven't been to the baseball side of campus, I was talking with somebody the other day. I think that there aren't very many places in college baseball where you're going to be able to go, see a train go by, see students driving a tractor and a manure spreader go by, and see a beautiful landscape of horses and the black plank fencing and barns and all that. I think it's a really neat setting that you don't get on every college campus. And every time I bring a recruit here, and I hope to see one of the students walking a horse across campus, because I always say you don't see that on every college campus.
That's right. You don't
So I think with our field and setting, I think it's a beautiful setting, and everybody that I brought in there has had nothing but great things to say about our equine facilities and how beautiful it looks going across there. So we're definitely excited to be out there, and hopefully one day we can get a horse out there, maybe to drag the field.
Well, I thought, maybe out of the bullpen.
Yeah, guys sprinting out of the bullpen.
Nice to have those cars. We just have a horse. I think it looks great.
And as a St. Louis Cardinal fan, there was nothing more exciting when you went to Cardinal game, the 7th-inning stretch, the Clydesdales came out and went around the warning track.
Yes.
I'm telling you, there's lots of possibilities. Lots of
The
possibilities.
president races in Washington. Maybe we can have the horse. We can do horse racing.
Actually, horse racing.
Yeah, Keeneland sponsor that. We're in good shape. And maybe somebody, you said we do go right by the train tracks. Maybe somebody will hit a home run and it'll end up in Louisville.
He could. Very well.
All right. Well, I appreciate Coach Bramblett showing up here. Again, they're tipping off their season this weekend down at the University of Mobile in Alabama. 4 games, 2 Saturday doubleheaders on Friday and Saturday, correct?
We switch it to Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday. See, there you go. There's some. That's not been updated on the website. Had to Dylan on that. So you have to watch this to know that.
Yes.
And best of luck with that, Coach. Take a trip, and we'll be following you the rest of the spring.
Thank you, guys. Best of luck to you too.
Yeah,
Appreciate it. Strong.
Thanks for coming on.
All right, we're back here in the Coach's Show, Midway Coach's Corner, and now I know you guys out there in the Eagle Empire have been deprived of the Coach's Corner for the last 5 weeks, but the biggest complaint I've heard when I've gone around, I went home for holidays, I know Coach did as well, been around at some road games here on campus. It's when are we going to hear more from Dylan? That's
FaceTime with Dylan.
That's what I hear more than anything. So we delivered, and we're back here with the Viewer's Choice segment of the week. FaceTime with Dylan. Dylan, welcome into the corner.
Happy to be here. If this is your favorite segment, then Goodness gracious.
Do you have some other recommendations or shows they should be watching?
No recognition. This is the show.
This is a
that
show
you
to
need to be
watch.
watching.
Okay.
All right, Dylan, we had, we did have a little advance notice this week for the show, not a whole lot, quite honestly, but a little bit. So, what do the people have for us this week?
Let's see. One of our frequent texters from Craig and Owl.
Okay.
And
He asked one of the baseball questions as well.
He asked a couple of those. He says, "How are your teams looking to make the postseason this year? What has to happen down the stretch to ensure postseason play?"
Well, I think coaches, they're rolling. They're
Well,
gonna be in it.
right now, currently we are sitting in first place in our side. However, we've got some tough road games, and so I think the answer of what do we need to do is the challenge for us is going to be to win some road games and some very tough people. We go to all three of the IU schools are left to play on the road, and those are going to be tough matchups. And then as well as we have to go over to Asbury, big rival game. So I think the challenge for the ladies to continue to hopefully win this side and pursue a high seed in postseason is going to be winning road games. And we played well last week at West Virginia and Rio, but came up short. And we're going to have to play well and not come up short and actually come out on top.
Coach?
Yeah, what coach said. Really, we're not in first, but we're in third at the moment, 5-5 on our side. We've had some. We did not win at Alice Lloyd, but we did beat Brescia and Asbury, who are the two teams below us at the moment. We have not shown to be an effective road team yet. Unlike coaches, we didn't really play that great at Tech and Rio. We played okay against Tech and Rio. It was our worst performance of the year. Now some of that was them, but a lot of it was us too. So, like Coach said, because we have the same conference schedule, we still have to go to the three IU schools, which are three of the four probably best teams in the league. We need to take care. We still have our two home games against teams that were going to be right in the mix with us, Brescia and Alice Lloyd. I feel like, and we still go to Asbury. It's going to come down to probably the final 2 weeks, honestly. And last year that didn't go so well for us. We had to turn that around and come out on top of a few of those this year. I'm sure, and I think it's nice this year. We are in a position where if we win, we kind of do hold our fate in our hands. The last couple of years, we've been kind of looking up at people. We've had to win to try to get to that level. This year, we're there. Here in the second time around through the league, so we have to perform. So we're older. We've been through it. Hopefully that gives us some help, but it's not going to be easy. We're going to have to play better away from here for sure.
All right, from Jan in Pennsylvania, another frequent texter.
Yeah, sure.
She says it's a long season. It's a sprint. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Did she say that? I don't see that.
She doesn't.
Okay, all right.
You got the wrong.
Okay,
you got the wrong.
Thank you.
She says, how do you keep your players energized and focused during the long season?
Wow.
Anyone want to?
Well, one of the things, and it's tough because we're playing 3 times a week. Sometimes
playing 5 games in 10 days or something crazy like that.
It feels like we're every other day. So one of the things we love to try to do is find a way to give some time off, to give a day off for them to just get away from the gym. But that's really tough to do. So the other thing, we've shortened practice a little bit, and a lot of it's been more walk-through stuff, and not 2 hours of running up and down the floor. We still get up and down the floor and work on things, but. I think I've been stressing to the young ladies, we have to really be mentally focused because we can't run them through things 5 and 6 times. So they have to pay attention and get things right the first or second time so we can move on and shorten practice down. But it is tough, and that's why it's a grind. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, how much time some of these student athletes put in. Basketball players specifically this time of year, but it's for every sport has that time of year where it's just every other day you're on the field playing and you're trying to practice in between. So. It's a challenge, but hopefully, we manage that the best we can, and that's what the kids signed up for, and we'll keep after it. But it is a challenge to find a way to keep them refreshed.
Yeah, again, what Coach said. Really, it's not. It does. At this time of year, it's very much. For us anyway, it's a lot of looking forward. When you're in the middle, early in the season, in the preseason, you're focused so much on yourself and looking back at what you need to do better and what you've done and where you can improve. I don't want to say like the hay is in the barn at this point, but we're kind of formed as a team now. Our rotation isn't going to change a ton. What we're doing on offense and defense isn't going to change a ton here in the last 3 weeks. We have to focus on specific things for the upcoming opponents. I think that we try to keep things focused doing that. So it's not doing the same thing day after day after day. You know, you try to work on the same things, but maybe do it in a little bit different way with your drills. At least we do. But really at this time of year, it's more about rest and mental preparation and focus. I mean, there's only so much where I think we're in decent shape. Everybody who we're playing against is going to be in pretty good shape. You know, it's really more about the mental aspect of things now. And for us, that mental aspect includes, you know, being able to, again, take our performance and do it somewhere else other than here. So a lot of it will be, you know, just say I come back to focus. But that is really the work. You know, when we travel, we gotta be
all about
focused.
mentally.
Yes,
Mental.
I
It's
would
all
say
about
so.
mental.
I have a friend. Shout out to Ari Shapiro Miller. Thanks, Ari. Who's a sports psychologist back in Vermont. Works at the University of Vermont's team, and we talked a little bit this week about that performance and things, and giving some stuff to look at. So we're going to be trying a few maybe tweaks that we could use when we go on the road that maybe will help us. So we'll see. We'll report back, see if that works.
Okay.
That's what we're doing.
Let's see. Eagles roost at Midway.
Oh.
And we don't know. Do we know them exactly?
Yeah, we do. We know the Eagles.
Maybe. Let's see. They said for corner handicapping.
Oh, corner handicap. We're getting
your specialty.
Yeah, well,
Your
it's one of them. It's one of them. Maybe more so than basketball. We're. Well, what's the question first?
Let's see. They said what are some races they need to be watching to look out for some Kentucky Derby contenders?
Well, okay, so we're under 100 days to the Derby. There was the 100-day mark was about probably last week, I think.
That's a good day to have a show.
That's right. We're counting down now, so all the prep races are starting up. I would say this week, I'll give you a couple for this weekend. We have 2 races to watch this weekend.
Okay. Write them down. Get your pencils out now.
You get the Holy Bull in Gulfstream. Okay, Tis the Law is running down there. And that's that's maybe the betting favorite. It's not my favorite, but it's one of the betting favorites. He runs down there, and then a horse I gave you a month ago, 1,000 Words, is running in the Robert Lewis at Santa Anita this weekend. So those are the 2 big prep races this weekend. Those are the horses to watch out for. See if 1,000 Words comes out of that okay. We're going to double down on him. But Tis the Law, I'm a little skeptical. Interested to see how he runs. I'm going to tell you another horse that I did see over the break. Independence Hall is going to be one of the favorites in May, first Saturday in May. He's running at Tampa Bay Downs next month. That'll be his next start. But he flew past everybody in the Jerome Stakes at Aqueduct on New Year's Day. 3 for 3 lifetime. So those would be the 3 horses to watch this week.
That's pretty good. 3 for 3.
You can't do better than 3 for 3. You got to stretch him out now. He's only running a mile, so he's stretching out the next race. But those are our 3 to look out for this week. If we have a show, if Dylan schedules a show for next week, we can give you some more. We can give you some more for next week. But it is we're coming up on the Derby, so just keep watching. And we'll try to get you ready for a big score there in May.
Speaking of 3 for 3, this is a comment. I didn't write this down. We have a coach, an honorary coach, who is 3 for 3 coach. How about that?
Oh, 3-0 lifetime.
3-0 lifetime.
Yes,
3-0 lifetime.
Craig in Iowa. Craig Snyder.
Yep.
Is indeed he was our guest coach for the Asbury game. It was 3-1. We won that one. He's now 3-0 lifetime with the men's program. We're still waiting for the all-time results. We were told those were going to be tabulated. We're still waiting. I think, as far as I know, Craig, we're going through 3 years. We're going through 3 years, so Craig has to be the leader.
So that's kind of like he's in the clubhouse.
He's in the clubhouse. That's right. Waiting for the results for us.
In the clubhouse.
We got any more questions?
Any more questions?
Riley, Missouri asked a question.
Riley, Missouri. I think they did ask a question. Which one was it?
About TV show you were.
No, hey, wait a second. We got to get to it. I'll answer that question.
Okay.
I'll answer.
All right, let me step back. All right, so Dylan, many of you viewers who did not know, and most of you probably do if you know Dylan right. Dylan is an avid viewer and now reviewer of the TV show Temptation Island. So anytime you want to know an update, which we are, a lot of our people in the Eagle Empire want to know, what's been the current status and updates on what's happening on Temptation Island?
Well, they finished season 2, and surprisingly enough, they brought in 4 couples. None of the 4 couples are together anymore. So could you imagine that?
That's hard to believe.
It's hard to believe.
Very hard to believe. Hard to believe.
If you want more updates on that, feel free to text into the text line at 859-846. What is it doing?
5327.
5327. It's been so long, I forgot the text line.
I forgot it.
Or tweet your questions about Temptation Island at Go Midway Eagles. and they'll get back to either, you might have a running correspondence, or we'll answer them on the show.
Never know.
I don't know.
Wait.
One more?
We got one more question.
Okay.
Sarah in Southville.
Oh, she's texted.
She's texted for it. What's Sarah?
She would love an update on Coach Foster's car search. Maybe the Eagle Empire, you guys out there, can help him out where he might find a good one.
That's gone on longer than the basketball season. I know, Coach, we were sitting there at one of the JV games last week, I think it was, and Coach was talking to one of our players and his players about kind of trucks that they had. And I looked over to one of them, I said, man, I remember the time when Coach Foster used to have a car. It's been a while, though.
It's been a while.
But Coach is currently taking advantage of the Shea shuttle service, I think, mostly.
I'll tell you what, all seriousness, I've been without a car for a little bit because I wrecked my car and haven't had time to really.
He is okay, by the way.
And I'm fine.
We're joking about
But it
that
has
because
been
he is
really,
okay.
there has been one advantage. I do walk a lot more and I get more exercise. But the other thing, and I will say this with all sincerity, even though I've only been here about a year and a half, going on 2 years, a lot of friends and colleagues, whether it's Coach Kopinski, Dylan, Coach Shea, Rusty Kennedy, the athletic director, my assistants have been very gracious in giving me rides here and there, so I'm not walking all the time. So again, big public thank you to all the people that have chipped in with that process, and I will have a car soon.
And if anybody wants, this could be a great sponsorship opportunity, some dealership on it.
Perfect.
So if you want to get in on the ground floor of the coach's corner.
Yes, I would be more than happy to drive a dealer car.
Maybe have a coach's corner vehicle.
Maybe
you know where to find us.
Maybe have someone like Don Franklin. Viewer questions sponsored by Don Franklin.
Well, no, wait. We don't want to give away that until they re-up. So you can't mention
need a car first.
Yeah, I need a car first. All right, that's it. Great job by the Empire to send in some questions again this week. Be ready for next week. Get them in now. 859-846-5327 or at Go Midway Eagles, and we'll be right back to look ahead to what's coming up this week in the Eagle Empire. All right, Coach, we're back to wrap up, again, the first edition of this the 2020 Coach's Corner. Pretty good show, I think.
I think it's been a good show. Might be a little longer than normal, but we've had a lot of stuff to cover.
Got a lot to do. Yeah, we had a lot of time in between shows.
Yes.
Again, make sure you text Dylan if you don't want that to happen anymore. But no, it's been a good start, like you said, to the year here at Midway. This week, coming up in this week in Eagle Athletics, we both go up to IU East tomorrow. Right. Play a big conference doubleheader. And then you are at St. Mary's of the Woods for a return game on Saturday.
Yeah, we have a return non-conference game. We have a couple non-conference games here down the stretch of teams that we played or played earlier in the season that return game here with Welch later on in the month. And it's our turn to go to St. Mary's of the Woods. They were here earlier in the year. So yeah, we got 2 games left this week. And like you said, it's going to be a tough trip to IU East, but looking forward to going out and competing with some of the better teams.
Yeah, same here. Baseball, as we talked to Coach Bramblett earlier, is opening up their season down at the University of Mobile. Doubleheaders on Saturday and Sunday, which the news we broke here.
Breaking news here.
Moved to Saturday, Sunday. Volleyball, men's volleyball hits the road for the first time, coming off a good weekend at home last weekend. They go up to Thomas More for their invitational. They play 4 matches, Thomas More and Siena Heights on Friday, and Reinhardt and Cumberland, Tennessee on Saturday. So that'll probably give us a little better indication of where we are in the league.
Right, be a good chance to see how we perform away from here, but they did get off to a great start here at home, and we'll see how they do on the road.
Yeah, wrestling goes down to Tennessee to play to wrestle against the Cumberland, Tennessee, and they're open. We probably should have mentioned we didn't really recap wrestling, but they were at the National Duels in Louisville after the break and had another home match here, which against Thomas More, which we just dropped by 3 points, I think it was.
I think it was close, yeah.
Close match. So they're doing okay, and we'll be interested to see how they do down there at Cumberland. Track and field returns to action at the Greyhound Invitational up at the University of Indianapolis this weekend. Again, coming off some really good performances on each side.
Right.
And then bowling, maybe my personal favorite, is back at, appropriately enough, back in Erlanger at the Super Bowl for the Norse Classic, hosted by Northern Kentucky.
On Super Bowl weekend.
On Super Bowl weekend. Super Bowl at the Super Bowl. I was really hoping they would bowl on Sunday. That could have been a whole thing, but they're not. They're just going Saturday. So that's exciting. I know there was some talk here earlier that people wanted our Super Bowl predictions because why wouldn't you?
Well, of course.
Why wouldn't you?
Still time to
get
some money down.
Get some money down. I don't have any prop bets, but about the game itself, what do you think's going to happen in the game, Coach?
All right. So grown up in Missouri, a lifelong Kansas City Chief fan, this is our chance. We're finally in it. It's been 50 years, so we better win while we're there because it might be difficult. I really think and hope, I think more hope than think, the Chiefs are going to step up and perform for 4 quarters instead of the second quarter on. And I think the Chiefs in a close one, 34-31.
Whoa, okay.
There you go.
That's a high scoring. I think, honestly, if I'm going with my head, I would probably take Kansas City because I think Pat Mahomes is unbelievable. However, I'm going to fall back on what I've been I have to do this if I'm going to be consistent. I've been preaching to my team all year that we really got to defend. And I think so. In these high-flying offenses against defense, I'm going to take the defense. So we'll take. And as a New England Patriot fan, Jimmy Garoppolo winning another one would be good. I think for Bill and company. So I'll take San Francisco 27-20.
Okay, there you have it. Put your money down.
That's it.
Make your bets. You won't find better advice about
No,
football.
certainly not. Certainly not. Certainly not. From a guy who's watched about 3 games all year, that's what you want to do. But really appreciate everybody who's followed us here into 2020 for the Coach's Corner, where we promise to do a little bit better job and get some more here on weekly. So we have some more
Like
updates.
the weekly shows.
And I know it gets busy for us here at the end of the year, but we'll find some time. And so be on the lookout for next week, where we preview the upcoming horse show here on campus and talk more about what's been happening in the Eagle Empire this past week.